is this one right here. How many sales channels are you selling your comic in? Now, if you don't write a comic, this might not be applicable to you, but if you do create comics, create art, create other things, I think you're going to like this short discussion and what I'm going to share with you all today. My name is Tyler James. I'm the publisher of ComixTribe. We are a publishing company that produces comics and graphic novels and children's books and toys and all kinds of stuff. And I'm also the host of the Comics Launch podcast, where I help creators build audiences and launch their projects to those audiences, especially if they're writers, artists, and self-publishers. We can help you grow your audience, grow your launches, launch better, launch bigger, launch faster, and get all that good stuff. I am not someone that just stands back and preaches and teaches this stuff, though. I actually talk about the platforms and talk about the strategies, talk about the things that I put into place over at ComixTribe, and then our other brands such as C is for Cthulhu. We actually have, I launched the 17th Kickstarter campaign of my illustrious Kickstarter career. I launched yesterday, another launch with Greg Murphy and Jason Charamella from the C is for Cthulhu crew, also working with Israel Skelton and Skelton Crew Studios, and we're doing glow-in-the-dark plush toys. All right, so we've got a launch over at glow.cisforcthulhu.com going on right now. And last I checked, we were at 94% funded here on day 2, and really excited about this. But what I want to talk about today is sales channels, and sales channels specifically for single issue books. So single issue books like this one, Wailing Blade. And I don't want to do this just in the abstract. I actually want to do this by looking at real numbers and looking at real data and just tell you what we're doing over here. But would also love for anybody that gets to tune in, watching this live or watching this after the fact, leave a comment. Let me know where you are selling your books in, or if you're not yet selling your books, give me where you want to sell your books and the order that you think you're going to be doing it. What channels are you going to be using? And if you're a little confused about what I even mean by channel, I'll explain that a little bit. But one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I recently got a list of questions for an interview from my pal Matt O'Keefe over at The Beat. And Matt has done a couple of the interviews every couple of years. He does like a ComixTribe spotlight, and he sends me some really good questions and checks in on all the stuff that we're doing over at ComixTribe. And I always ask really good questions. So one of the questions he was asking is sort of like, all right, well, you guys use Kickstarter, but you're also in the direct market and you also do other interesting things. But like, how does this all break down for ComixTribe? Like, what exactly are you doing? And so one of the things that, if you've been following me or you've been following ComixTribe or Comics Launch for a while, you know that, we spill the beans. Like, we're not afraid to share real numbers. We're not afraid to like tell you exactly what we're doing. And that transparency has sort of been a key hallmark for us since the very beginning. And so, one of the things that I did for Matt was I sort of went in and I said, okay, well, if you're wondering, how things break down between Diamond and Kickstarter and other things that we do, well, let's just look at a recent example of the launch of Wailing Blade #1, which is our latest book to release. So Wailing Blade #1, Rich Duick, Joel Mulvey. And look at sort of where we're selling this book and how the sales are breaking down for that. So I've actually got this cool pie chart for you right here, and I'm going to walk through. And this is sort of up to date to like right now, as of June 12th. 2019. And so, Wailing Blade #1, we've been selling it in actually 6 distinct sales channels. All right. And so in order from highest revenue driver to lowest revenue driver, they are Kickstarter, Diamond, the direct market, our ComixTribe shop.ComixTribe shop, our online shop, and then direct to retail sales, conventions and signings, and then Comixology. And I don't actually have our Comixology numbers yet, so I'm just doing an estimate here, a best guess estimate based on sales for other number ones that launched. All right. And so, right, that's it right now. We've got 6 major sales channels that we are selling Wailing Blade or have sold Wailing Blade through for this first issue launch. Now, just a couple comments here. You'll see that between Kickstarter and the direct market, like that's where the bulk of our sales have actually come from. About 48% of the total revenue driven by Wailing Blade is from Kickstarter. 29% from the direct market. Now, what's interesting here, though, is through the direct market, we actually have sold about 4 times as many books as we did through Kickstarter. All right. So in terms of total number of single issue floppy sales, right, we sell about 4 times what we sell on Kickstarter during our Kickstarter launch in terms of total number of books sold through the direct market. All right. But the reason why the direct market, even though we've sold 4x, is less than Kickstarter is because our customer for the direct market is Diamond Comics distributors. Like they are the ones who actually buy the books from us. All right. And they buy the books from us at a fixed price of 60% off cover price. All right. The cover price on Wailing Blade number 1 is $4.99. All right. So 60% off that is $1.99.6. All right. So just about $2. Every one of these books we sell to the direct market for $2. So even though we sold, some 4,200 copies to the direct market, compared to only about 1,200 total copies sold during our Kickstarter launch, the direct market is actually significantly less than the Kickstarter because in the Kickstarter, we can sell direct to the customer. All right. So those are the 2 main things. And you're probably definitely, like this pie chart represents why I am so bullish on Kickstarter for the independent creator and even for creators that move up the ranks and get a diamond distribution deal. All right. Because Kickstarter is an audience maximizer, and it allows you to do what you can't really do through the direct market. Is you can sell to the low end of your market, and you can also sell to the high end of your audience. All right, and so our average unit, our average pledge level through the Kickstarter was close to $30. All right. So instead of selling a book for $2, we're selling to individual consumers that are on average spending about $30 with us, which makes a big difference from a revenue perspective. Now, of course, what the diamond numbers do not include is the cost of fulfillment and all of those other things to fulfill the project, fulfill these products, get them to the hands of the backers and everything. And so, even though this is a big revenue generator, this is also a lot of costs come when you are running Kickstarter. And so, what's important to understand is that just doing Kickstarter or just doing the direct market will be significantly less profitable than doing both. Okay. So that's one thing, but you'll also see that our online shop is actually a pretty prevalent, it's an important stopgap for us as well. And we have a shop that's powered by Shopify. So if you're wondering what the platform we use over at shop.comixtribe.com is, that's called Shopify. You can actually get a free trial if you go to comixlaunch.com/Shopify if you're looking to set up your own store. So that's one thing. And then another one that I think a lot of creators miss out on, or they don't take advantage of, is direct to retail sales. Now, when we're talking direct to retail sales, we're talking not just sales of this book, but we're also talking sales of some of our premium variants and sales of exclusive variants that we did just for the retailers. So for example, Larry's Comics, Larry from Larry's Comics, who's been a longtime ComixTribe supporter, he reached out to us and wanted he commissioned Alex Cormick, the artist of Sink and Road of Bones, to do this this cover right here, which is like a Todd McFarlane Hulk homage cover. Pretty awesome, right? And Larry said, "Hey, man, I want 500 of these bad boys, and I want the exclusive rights to sell 500 of these bad boys to my customers and online. And he's gonna stock away some of these so that when Wailing Blade is makes it to Netflix or wherever it goes, Larry's sitting on a super exclusive limited run, right? Larry loves investing in independent comics and in the hot books and whatnot. So, but yeah, so we did a special run for Larry and sold books directly to him. We also had an artist. Frank Uzan is a cover artist, very talented cover artist, and he, the entrepreneurial artist that he is, recognized that he has a demand for his exclusive limited edition covers. And so he actually commissioned us to do a cover that he could then have exclusive rights to sell 350 copies of this bad boy as well. And he paid us for that privilege, right? And so direct to retail sales and partner sales and those things is also a lucrative thing for us. Now, the bottom two channels here for us right now is conventions and signings, and then Comixology. All right. Now, conventions and signings in the past have actually, there was a time when conventions and signings were ComixTribe's most important sales channel. That's where we sold most of our books. I think there's a lot of creators out there that is where they sell most of their books. One thing that I've noticed is as our convention, but over the past couple of years, I've done less conventions, especially as my family has sort of grown and just the responsibilities there. And conventions are a little bit more of a young man's game. And as you can see, getting some gray in the beard here, guys. So I've throttled back my conventions and my signings, even though, but what's not included in here is Joe and Rich's conventions and signings and the books they sell and the sketches and things like that. That's not included in this. This is really just from the publisher perspective right here. But I expect we will do some more business during conventions and signings. So this number could spike, especially as some of the bigger conventions come in. But right now it's a small amount. But one of the things that I've made an emphasis is that if I was going to throttle back on conventions, well, then Kickstarter and online shop sales become significantly more important. All right. So those are just a couple of things to think about. So let's check in. Jack says Jack's currently on Comixology, Amazon, which are actually two places. Yep. And Kickstarter to start. And he's working on his online shop. All right, good. Getting some channels up and running. Very, very nice. And yeah, so these are the 6 channels that we're doing for Wailing Blade. Love to hear any questions that you have on any of those on any of these channels. Would love to hear where you guys are selling, and if you have any questions about this. I was going to jump on with and bring Travis Gibb on today to talk about Diamond and when Diamond makes sense for the independent comic book creator and when it's too early or when it's not a good idea at all. But Travis's computer shut down on him because he had a sort of a Florida storm surge / power outage. So we'll have to do that another time. But if that's a topic you want to hear about, definitely let me know as well. There you have it. That's our breakdown for Wailing Blade #1, where we're selling our books and the sales channels for that. I also do want to give a Jack, I'm not sure what you mean by, he says, what are your rates with direct market? Not sure what you mean by what are your rates. Yeah, don't know what you mean. We sell to the direct market at 60% off cover price. That's what they buy books for. And we are a little bit, and unlike on our online shop or Kickstarter, where we can get really creative and do cool things like boxes and bundles and do other things, with the direct market, you're pretty limited as to what you can offer and the price points that you can offer it at. So it's there's less flexibility there, but it is a much bigger market. And if you want to get into comic shops, they're sort of really one of the only games in town. Um, I will also link up to some of our resources when we do that Diamond one. I have put out some resources about Diamond. Now, here's another thing that I just want to end with and make sure that you all know. You may have heard we are in an enrollment period, about to be in an enrollment period for the Comics Launch Mastermind. And so one of the things that can really help take your business to the next level is to get around other creators who are inspiring, who are doing things, who are in channels that you're not, doing things that you're not, and learning from them and learning what works for them, and then modeling that success. But in order to do that, you got to be around the right creators. And so one of the things that I've done over the past year and a half is I've been running mastermind groups of some creators that are really inspiring, creators that are really doing the work, that are growing, that are ambitious, that are hardworking, that are dedicated. And they commit to meeting once a month. I actually have my next meeting with the current Comics Launch Mastermind group. In the group one is in about an hour and 40 minutes, and then we'll meet with group two later tonight. And twice a year, I open up new spots for new creators that would like to come in and join this mastermind group to regularly meet with creators. And so if that's something that you think could help you take your creative business to the next level by just getting around other creators who are doing it, are in the trenches, getting results, taking action, learning from it, and are willing to sort of invest in other creators in return for them investing in them and taking an interest in them, I'd love to have you. We're doing our first of 2 live info sessions tomorrow evening. So if you want to do that, just go over to comicslaunch.com/mastermind, get on our mastermind interest list, and then pick one of the 2 live info sessions to attend, and you'll get your application, and we'll see if we can have a spot for you inside the Comics Launch Mastermind. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to see what you launch next.